It's time to let Destiny die with dignity. I cannot be the only one who watched the recent Destiny 2 Renegades trailer, and I just felt sort of strange, because there was two things I was sort of feeling simultaneously. One was as a longtime Star Wars fan, and the other was as somebody who covered Destiny almost exclusively for 5 years. Honestly, even as a Star Wars fan, my feelings are a bit mixed because I grew up with Star Wars, and that brand has been a bit of a mixed bag of quality lately, and that's putting it mildly, but I can't help it. I see Star Wars stuff, and I immediately feel nostalgic. I'd be lying if I said that the guns coming with Renegades don't look awesome. I mean, there's a handful of standouts, right? The Uncivil Discourse hand cannon is basically Han Solo's blaster, and we all wanted to be Han Solo when we were kids. Heck, you know, some of us probably still want to be Han Solo. And I was never big on sniper rifles in Destiny unless it was a specific raid boss strategy. But the A499, I mean, that's Mando's rifle, like right out of Mandalorian. And if you're a fan of Star Wars, you're going to recognize Chewbacca's bowcaster. The heirloom looks good. It honestly looks so good, it kind of looks out of place in the Destiny world, which is something I'm going to talk about in a second. The crown jewel is obviously, though, the kinetic exotic sword. I mean, it's a lightsaber. Lightsabers are timeless toys. You could hand one to an adult. They're probably going to start making their own sound effects and wave it around. But as the dust settled on this trailer, I could not help feeling conflicted about the whole thing. Sure, it's cool to see Star Wars guns and weapons in one of the best shooters in the market, but it also feels like a terrible way to enter the final stages of the game's life. If you look at the community sentiment right now, you look at the player numbers, it's pretty obvious. The game is dying, and I mean in the real way, not all the ways up to this point. People have said that Destiny is dying. Like, I don't think this is a hot take or something shocking. It's not hateful to say this game is on its way out. It's been out for over a decade. It had a good run. But to me, you want to die with dignity, rather than injecting yourself with one last relevancy grab of another IP that has its own problems right now. And not only that, this just feels like a cheap way to get fans to come back one last time. If you compare this to how they ended Destiny 1, it is vastly different. We've gone from the Age of Triumph, which sort of felt like the celebration of Destiny 1's greatest hits, to something that's celebrating another IP. It's basically celebrating Star Wars. It would also, I think, be a really good time to just level with the audience and speak to the future. As far as I can tell, the only path for Bungie is Destiny 3, given their size and operating costs. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, listen, they didn't want to make Destiny 3. Why would you force them to do that? Well, that was likely leadership's call, which at this point, leadership's made it pretty clear they want out. They don't really seem invested in the company's future. They don't really seem to care about anything other than getting big payouts and leaving. So I've been saying for a long time that the path forward for a studio this size, given what they're known for, is you got to get PlayStation to fund and publish Destiny 3. Now, you're basically a PlayStation studio now anyway. As far as we can tell, the takeover has happened. They're losing their independence. And if you clean out the really bad leadership, which has been Bungie's main problem for a very long time, you could let folks migrate to other PlayStation studios. Like, if they don't want to work on Destiny 3, that's understandable. See if you could place them somewhere else. I think the studio is full of talent. You could also see if people at the other PlayStation studios want to come and work on Destiny 3. I mean, there's people at Guerrilla that might miss working on a shooter. There's people at Bend that might actually want to work on a live service game since their one was canceled. So I would clean out the leadership and set this as the trajectory for the company. And Marathon is, in my opinion, a dead man walking. I don't think this game has a chance. But let's just say it's moderately successful. I don't think it's going to generate enough revenue to keep the entirety of Bungie going. So, as I said, Destiny as a game, Destiny 2, needs to die with dignity. No more weird pop culture relevancy grabs, no more vague statements about the future and your plans. Just shoot straight with people, and then take Destiny out to the woodshed and tell to look at the pretty flowers. Because Bungie's future is one that they can't not be financially dependent on Destiny 2 any longer, because it's so obvious that the game is slowly dying. And even really cool Star Wars guns can't change that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. Stop by a live stream. We do those every day, Monday through Friday. And as always, hit like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.